Philadelphia is getting a huge boost before Thursday night as the Giants are suddenly without their top playmaker, while Vic Fangio officially gets a weapon of his own back in the fold. Plus, what the Giants' defense is the perfect medicine for Ken Patulo's ailing offense. What Saquon Barkley said about his viral meeting with Jalen and AJ, it has me pretty darn excited for what's about to happen. I'm Thomas Mott, this is the Thomas Mott Show. Philadelphia has won so much over the past, year and a half that when one team mounts an 18-point fourth-quarter comeback to give the Birds their first home loss in 12 games, everybody immediately acts like the sky is officially falling. When in fact, the Birds still sit at 4-1 with 4 wins over likely playoff teams, and yet still have not put together 4 solid quarters of football. Not saying everything is perfect, trust me, there's a lot to fix, but I do think the latest news dump right before Thursday night's NFC East matchup with the New York Giants is exactly what the doctor ordered. Also, I've been asked to extend the Game Changers Eagle T-shirts $50 gift card giveaway by one more day, so you now have a fresh new chance to go and enter to win one of 3 $50 gift cards to Game Changers to pick up arguably the best T-shirts I have ever seen in the entire Eagles market. All you need to do is drop a like and comment your score prediction down below in the comment section right now. Oh, and Game Changers also gave me my own discount code, so use code ThomasX10, link down below, at checkout to get 10% off your order, and it also helps me out too, so grab one of their t-shirts today. Now, let's jump right into the injury updates for Philadelphia and the Giants following their final practice of the week before taking that short drive up to MetLife Stadium, and as expected, Saquon Barkley, Jahad Campbell, Byron Young, and Nakobe Dean are all good to go and are able to play, while of course Grant Calcaterra and Landon Dickerson, as we expected, are officially out. Philadelphia did get a little surprise on their final injury report, though, as Jalen Carter suddenly popped up with a heel injury and is questionable for Thursday. Now, it sounds like he will play, but Carter is already dealing with a shoulder issue and now adds a heel into the mix. Definitely worth keeping an eye on Thursday night, as the Giants' offensive line, we all know it's not that great, and Carter hopefully will play and be a factor in getting after Jaxson Dart. All of that, of course, is not a massive surprise. The big news, though, is the fact that Saquon Barkley is healthy, good to go. He practiced, and I think he told the media yesterday exactly what we all needed to hear, that his knee is not an issue and will not hinder him at all versus former team on Thursday night.
I know a lot of people started reacting because they said I wouldn't practice. None of us practiced yesterday. You just have to, because of, I don't know what reason. If you have anything, everything has to be reported. So I know the Eagles are doing what they're supposed to do, but nothing too worried about, some general soreness, and I'm excited to go play.
Is that a factor in the game Sunday?
Yeah, I had some soreness. I don't think that's the reason why we lost, but no, nothing impacted the game.
So it wasn't a reason why you only had the 6 carries there?
No, I think a lot of things went into that. We did call a lot of RPRs, RPOs, and sometimes it don't work like that. But that's in the past. We're ready to move on. We talked about it. We learned from our mistakes, and we get ready to go play on Thursday.
Of course, though, the Birds, as we expected, no Landon Dickerson. It's official now. Really known that since Sunday afternoon, but that does mean backup Brett Toth will get his official first start of the 2025 season, which I think he needs to be praised for just 1 second here, because Toth did have the same PFF grade as both Cam Jurgens and Tyler Steen this past week, albeit in fill-in duty, and is a journeyman offensive lineman who's been released by Philadelphia and other teams 8 total times in his career. In this past offseason, he worked extremely hard during training camp to make the final 53, and now Sirianni and company will look to the 29-year-old to help hold up against a very elite, especially interior Giants defensive front.
And it's just a reliable guy that can do multiple things, and is good at multiple things. So he's consistent. He has ability to play multiple spots. We trust him, and he's done a good job when he's been able to go in in time where we've needed him.
Which, of course, staying with the Giants front for a second here, on paper, they're absolutely one of the best units in the entire NFL. But technically, through the first 5 weeks, they actually sit in the bottom third of the entire NFL with just 10 sacks. As last week, the Saints of all teams did a very nice job employing quick passes and max protects to slow down Burns, Carter, and Dexter Lawrence with great success. Still, Jalen Hurts and company, they're coming off of a very bad 6-sack game versus a great Denver front, but still, they're going to need to hold their own and protect much better up front to make sure they don't have any sort of repeat as they just did versus the Broncos this past week.
They got a really good front. They've always had a really good front, starting with Dexter Lawrence in the back end. They latch on the coverage really well, and they got really good players there too. So it's going to be a challenge, especially going into a short week.
Also, want to give a massive shout out to the sponsor of this video, SeatGeek. October is already here, which is crazy, by the way, but that also means we only have 3 more months of regular season Eagle games left. If you've been wanting to go to the link and see the birds in person, SeatGeek is here to help. Finding great deals on Eagles tickets, it's super simple thanks to SeatGeek's rating system where deals are ranked from a scale of 1 to 10. With green dots making it even easier, indicating the best deals, yellow and red, I normally pass on those. Plus, SeatGeek also offers other non-Eagle events in Philadelphia like the Phillies, Flyers, and Sixers, as well as comedy shows, music festivals, and more with over 70,000 listed events. And of course, my promo code is still going on right now with SeatGeek. I know a bunch of you guys have used this one. It's absolutely fantastic. So use promo code MOTT10 at checkout to get 10% off your next purchase of Eagle tickets or any other tickets with SeatGeek. Just pull your phone, download the SeatGeek app on the App Store, and then go ahead and add my promo code MOTT10 to your account. Then it's automatically applied at checkout, and boom, 10% off your Eagles tickets. You'll thank me later. Promo code MOTT10. I love SeatGeek. I know a lot of you guys love it too. Check them out right now. Now, moving back to the Eagles injuries for one more second here, I must mention Nakobe Dean because wow, we're nearly 10 months removed from his knee injury in that crazy wildcard win versus the Green Bay Packers. And guess what? He's officially active and will play on Thursday night. Now, Philadelphia will slowly work him back in. We'll see how much he actually plays. But it's true, Vic Fangio, he's getting one of these star defensive players from last year back in 2025. My guess, out of all of this, it's going to be maybe 10 snaps, 15 snaps. It's not going to be a lot. He's not going to be the difference maker in this game. At least I hope not, because that would mean it's going to be a close game. But Dean is back, working back very, very slowly. And then eventually, got to figure out what to do with number 17 because Campbell and Bond, they're not going to leave the football field. Moving back to the Giants, and the biggest news, maybe the entire week, especially for Philadelphia, is the fact that New York will be without their now number 1 wide receiver, Darius Slayton, who was just ruled out this morning with a hamstring injury. Meaning New York's receiver room right now on Thursday will feature Jalen Hyatt, Wando Robinson, and I think Gunnar Olszewski. It's not a very good wide receiver room heading into Thursday. New York will, however, get back running back Tyrone Tracy, but it feels like Cam Scadaboo has kind of locked down that job, so I'm not quite sure Tracy moves the needle, but he is back. Asking Jaxson Dart, who just threw 2 interceptions versus the lowly Saints on the road last week, to come on a short week and play against Vic Fangio's defense, I think it's going to be really, really tough. But now, no, of course, number 1 receiver, Malik Nabers. He's been out for a couple of weeks. And no Darius Slayton. It just got a lot harder for number 6. And hopefully, he has one of those rookie games where he gets sacked a bunch and throws a bunch of picks. Dart, of course, has provided at least a spark for Big Blue this year. That win against the Chargers, it was pretty darn impressive. But he still is a rookie, and that means rookie ups and downs the past couple of weeks. As I mentioned, this past week was a major down, and what should have been at least an easy win for the Giants, and instead the Saints defense, they look like a top 5 unit versus Dart and company. Still though, the Birds defense, at least yesterday, externally, did try to make it sound like they are not taking Dart for granted at all, and still view him as a very serious threat despite being a rookie.
Yeah, he's a tough kid, physical, trusts his arm, very confident guy, and they have a lot of design QB stuff for him in the run game as well, so a lot of stuff to handle there.
It's the NFL, so any given week, things can happen, but the honest truth that everybody knows, the Birds should win this game. And if it's close or they lose this game, there's only one real reason for that, and that would be that Kemba Tulo's offense struggles once again. And if that happens, Friday morning is going to be pretty rough. I mean, we already talked about the very public meeting between A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley, and Jalen Hurts that happened on Monday, but we got some more information yesterday as the players themselves told the media that it wasn't about, people being upset at each other, but instead about getting back on the same page and finally getting this offense rolling.
Man, it's just us talking about the collective, talking about taking ownership for what we can and talking about how we move forward as a team so we continue to find ways to win games.
Why the need for a meeting, do you think?
It's really just teammates being teammates.
What was your takeaway in the conclusion of the meeting?
Say that again?
What was your takeaway and conclusion of the meeting?
I don't want to make this about that, right? We got a short week. We got a division opponent coming in here. I enjoyed every second of it, and I'm enjoying every second of every opportunity we have to improve. And so that's what I've always made it about. That's what I'll continue to make it about. It's truly about the collective and what we do and the opportunities we have in front of us. And so everybody in this building just wants to take advantage of that.
And listen, I know Ken Patullo also spoke about this. He had a whole media session yesterday. I watched the whole thing. Ken Patullo, though, he's not the best in front of a camera. Nothing against him, but he says a lot of words, but doesn't say a lot of actual meaningful things. And so basically the entire Ken Patullo press conference was making excuses for why the Birds offense is not rolling right now. And I just didn't really feel like cutting up any clips. The actual truth of everything Patullo said can be boiled down to one simple stat. Philadelphia is 28th or worse in first downs per play, yards a game, and 3-and-out rate. and that simply cannot continue whether against the Giants or anybody else. The good news, however, is that Philadelphia has torched teams who have played man coverage against them, and guess what? The Giants just so happen to be the second most man coverage team in the entire NFL. And if you're a heavy man team on a very short week, you're not just going to swap in a bunch of zone coverages and throw out the baby with the bathwater, which means Philadelphia should see their favorite man coverage on Thursday night, and that should mean the offense gets going, especially A.J. Brown. Of course, one big game versus the lowly Giants is not going to solve all of the Eagles' offensive issues, but simply looking competent and holding on to a lead on Thursday will go a long way towards getting the media monkey off their back. Because remember, much as I am critical of Ken Patullo, and you are too, the Eagles' offense under Kellen Moore a year ago took some time to blossom. Really, it took 9 weeks. But they did flash here and there and show signs of improvement, which really, Thursday night, that's all I'm looking for from KP's unit. And of course, if you're not confident in KP, I understand, but at least listen to Saquon Barkley try and explain yesterday why he called a meeting with Hurts and Brown and why he thinks they are very close to figuring things out.
I feel like that conversation is meant to stay between us, but focus was all about the team, and I think it was a good thing. I mean, I don't think it's just that conversation. I think it's the work that we put in. Sometimes it just doesn't hit off right away. I know it hasn't shown, in a consistent way throughout the first 5 games, but there's been sparks. There's been halves where we look untouchable, but there's been halves where we look really bad. So I know I said it before, but we just got to continue to, have more halves of us, playing at a high level. So I don't think just our conversation. I think just the way that, the mindset of this team and on this offense and how we work and what we believe we can be.
I'll say it again. Anything can happen on any given Sunday or Thursday in the National Football League, but the Birds should beat the Giants. They scheme very, very well against that defensive look, especially against man. And offensively, they're without their top receiver, their running back room. It's Cam Scattaboo and I guess Tyron Tracy. The Birds should win this game. I'm feeling very confident. I'm hoping for 31-17, but we'll see. Obviously, give me your score predictions down below in the comments section to make sure you're entered for one of 3 $50 Game Changers gift cards to get a Game Changers t-shirt of your choice. And obviously use my promo code. I'll link it all down below. Those winners are going to be announced from last video and this video combined. I'll draw 3 random names on Friday morning's recap show after Thursday night. So got all that down. I will announce winners. It's going to be later on this week. Want to give you guys an extra chance to enter, but that's all coming. Either way, Thursday night we'll stream the game. I'm pumped for this one. I just want them to win and look competent on national TV. Thomas Mott. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.